Hey guys, it's Kay, and today I want to help you do your nails at home so that they look mwah. And I'm going to talk about everything's siblings, children, grandchildren, basically everything I've learned. We're gonna get pretty detailed today, so let's waste no time. First thing we need is a nail, a clean, bare nail. Now, we're gonna do a little QA first, so let's take a look. Does it need to be filed, shaped? I use a glass or a crystal file. They seal the keratin layers together at the edge of the nails and minimize chipping. It's important to file and shape the nail when it's dry because when nails have been exposed to water for a certain amount of time, they become much weaker. Also, do we need to push back the proximal nail fold? If so, we'll do that prep now before moving on to the next step, which is getting rid of any surface oils. To do that, I wipe the nail with alcohol or acetone because a manicure over oily nails is not a well done manicure. Once that's done, we are ready to pick out a base coat. Base coat is a friend, and a well-made base coat should be formulated to adhere to the surface of the nail. There are a lot of options out there: strengthening base coat, long-lasting base coat, sticky base coat, ridge filling or smoothing ones. There's also peely base coats, so choose your fighter depending on your needs. Base coat application is simple. I'm using the Orly Bonder base coat, which is a rubberized base coat. I apply one thin coat of base coat on my nail, then I wrap the tip and allow that to dry. And after we rolled out the base coat carpet on our nails, we are ready to receive the star of the show, nail polish. But hold on there, we've reached another QA point. Let's take a look at the polish. Has it settled? Is there any separation or indication that we should shake that bottle? If so, hold on. Shaking that nail polish and applying it right after will create these tiny little annoying air bubbles that will show up on your manicure, and they will stay with that manicure. We can shake it and then wait for maybe 15-20 minutes to be safe, just to let those air bubbles rise, or we can take it in between the palm of our hands and roll it gently and then apply it. Now that the formula is back to normal, we can finally move on to application phase. But the tricky part for me here right now as we move on to the application phase is that I can't necessarily tell you how much polish you need for your nails. What I can recommend is that you start small. So maybe wipe the excess off of one side of the brush until you're left with a small bead of polish on the brush, and then adjust as needed. Over time, you will become besties with your nail and you'll know exactly how much polish you need. Typically, I dip the brush all the way into the polish and then wipe the excess off just once or twice. Now, for application, our goal is to basically seal the nail plate and avoid painting over the proximal nail fold. When holding the brush, I don't want to hold it at a 90-degree angle. I want to create an obtuse angle, a big wide angle, so I can float that brush over my nail and lay down as much of an even application as I can. If your hand is a bit shaky, it's okay. We're going to cover cleanup tips soon. I feel like it's good practice to wrap the tip of the nail with each application. Keep in mind that a lot of nail polishes need to be built up, meaning that you may need 2 to 3 applications to achieve full coverage. Like with this polish, here I'm applying a second coat and then I'm moving on to a third coat. I'm also wrapping the tip with each application. But to do this effectively, each coat needs to be dry before you move on to the next. So we apply one coat, wait for that to dry, and then go back with additional coats as needed. Now let's say you want to use a textured polish like a glitter or a flaky. There is another type of application called the sponge-on method that is great for textured polishes. The way I like to do it is by first applying liquid latex to the skin around my nail, and I do what is called flooding the cuticle with the latex. I learned this is the only way I get a cleaner line around the proximal nail fold when using this method. I allow that latex to dry, then I take a makeup sponge and apply the polish to that sponge in a shape that I know will cover my nail plate. Now, after I'm done with that, I like to stretch out the sponge just a little bit to aid in the absorption of the base. Then I apply what's left over onto my nail with no pressure. It's really not needed. Then I'll wrap the tip with the brush. So you can see that it leaves behind a bit of mess. That's why the liquid latex is helpful, since you can peel that off. But if you don't mind cleaning up with acetone, then you can skip the latex portion. Now this is an example of 2 regular applications on my middle finger and 2 sponged on applications on my index. You can see how the sponged on method is a lot more effective if you're wanting full coverage, of course. Circling back to cleanup, because that is a very important part of nail polish 101, I find that the easiest way to clean up is right after you're done applying polish to that specific nail. If you wait for the nail polish to dry, it's gonna make cleanup a lot harder. There's a few different tools that you can use for cleanup. We have the good old reliable cotton ball, the cotton swab, we have the official nail polish cleanup brush, and this other brush that has a reservoir that you can pour acetone into, and instead of dipping back and forth into the acetone, all you have to do is squeeze the handle and the acetone will flow down to the brush tip. To clean up around the proximal nail fold, you just have to carefully trace around it. It shouldn't take that long, especially if the polish is wet. Now that we've cleaned up and given our mani a bit of drying time, we can move on to the top coat. Top coat is our other friend. It protects the nail polish and it also helps with drying that manicure. And please, 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 please get yourself a fast drying top coat. Otherwise, you're gonna be that person that did their manicure at 4 p.m., went to bed at 10 p.m., and then woke up with raisin nails. Do you know raisin nails? The ones that have bedsheet impressions on them because the nail polish did not dry over several hours? Use a fast drying top coat, my friends. Aside from that, avoiding the proximal nail fold and wrapping the tip is also a good idea when applying the top coat. Now, after the top coat is dry, we want to finish the process by rubbing cuticle oil to the skin around the nail to help the manicure and skin look nice and fresh. And I really recommend getting a great quality cuticle oil with a high quality jojoba oil. And now our lovely manicure. Yes, hold that pose. Oh my God, that glow. Call me Hades. Now, don't we want to maintain it though? So here's someone's typical hangout at home, talking to the wall, but the termites are tickling it and it needs a back scratch. I'd say do not. Yup, she ruined her nails. Let's talk about maintenance. Whoa there. Top coat is amazing, but it does not do miracles. Personally, when I'm doing something like washing the dishes, yes, I do the dishes manually. When I'm scrubbing, when I'm gardening, when I'm doing anything that puts my nails at risk of being ruined, I'll use gloves or I'll use tools. Even when I'm washing my hair, I'll use the bottom of my fingertips or a hair scrubber, but never my nails. I never use my nails as tools, even when I'm tempted to. And I am always tempted to. So it's been some time and our manis are still looking great, but we're bored of it. We want a new color. We're ready to grab a new polish. So now it's time for removal. Bye bye. I only know of 2 acetone removal methods. The first is with a cotton ball. We all know this one. It's the good old method that has been passed down from generation to generation. You just patiently rub away. And then the other, which is my go-to method, is the soak off method. For the latter, I unroll the cotton balls, then I roll the edge back in twice. I break off that smaller piece and I move on to acetone. I then put that cotton piece on the nail. Lastly, I put on nail clips, and you can buy these on Amazon. I honestly have never timed how long I keep them on for. I'd say to check on them every 15 seconds or so. Of course, the longer you leave them on, the easier removal will be. Now, after a bit of time, you remove those clips from each finger, and this is what it looks like underneath. Had I left this on longer, more polish would have been lifted, but this still does a lot of the rubbing work I would have had to do if I just used the first method. So you'll want to clean up whatever is left, and this sneaky one, I feel like this method makes it easier to get back to a clean bare nail. Now, after removal, I like to wash my hands because I feel bad leaving acetone on them, and then I'll add some some cuticle oil because acetone is very drying on the skin. Now, I know my ring fingernail looks funny. Fun fact, this nail has been broken since February. It is now the second week of May, so I've managed to keep this on by the grace of the nail gods. You can see the break here. That red color is just my hair dye, but it's more than halfway broken. If you want to know what I've been doing to keep this nail on me, let me know in the comments. Maybe I can make a how-to on that. So let's go back to the couch for my final recommendations. I know that this seems like a lot of steps, but these are all very small, quick steps that maybe the beginner will spend more time on, but to you, I say keep doing your manicures. You will get better and quicker at it as time goes by. And here is a secret tip. There is an alternative step to each and every single thing that I covered here today, which is to do whatever you want to do. Yeah, I'm no pro. This is just what has worked for me and what I've learned along the way, but I fully encourage you to continue to explore and experiment with other options to learn what works best for you. But that is all that I have for you today. I really hope this video was helpful. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye. Today's microphone is Polish for Days. This is Halloween.